So, alright, here we are. Let's put that there. Naked guy on the cover. Don't you hate it when an author refers to a character as, like, a ton of different people? I gotta push this over just a little. Alright, so, hey, oh, by the way, welcome to the D. Louise book series. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, no fancy spancy stuff going on here. So anyways, our character is Viper. I will tell you, the naked guy on the cover is very rarely referred to as Viper. Rarely. It is. He does happen when he's around near the guards, but rarely is he referred to Viper. So, he spends most of the book going by his last name. I can't pronounce it. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm human. I'm also Irish, not Scottish. But anyway, even if it was, I couldn't pronounce it anyway. So that's his last name. This is his first name. This is what he goes by most of the time. But these are so interchangeable. Sometimes it's this, sometimes it's this, sometimes it's this, sometimes it's that. It's frustrating. And I want to tell you that there is more character angst in this book than the other ones. There's not as much history in this one as there is in the other ones. I don't like the other ones. But it was just so much angst. It just, So wait a second. Okay, so some of this is true. I'd heard some of this previously. I knew some of this. The sun is just playing havoc here. Anyways, where was it? Oh yes. So some of this is this is true. This little part here, this is true. Some of it they haven't researched to all of it, but some of this is true. So this lady, and another thing that bothers me was I wanted the war to start here and then for it to culminate in book 10. But it's not gonna happen that way. The books skip. Each one of the books skips till after it happened. It's like it starts with Bruce working to get power, and it ends with Bruce in power. Each book does that, and it's driving me crazy. It should be one continuous story, but it's not. It's like he's not in power here, but he's in power here in each book. It's a little disconcerting. But anyways, Berwick Castle, Berwick up Tweed, English marches, late September 1306. They'd come for her. They'd come to put her in the tower that was open to all the elements, and it was a very small room, and she would just have a chamber pot, and there would be no privacy for anything, and she would freeze to death during the winter and melt in the summers. The Constable of Berwick Castle, Sir John Seagrave, one of Edward's commanders in the campaign against Scotland, cleared his throat. It's time, my lady. The flash of panic came so hard and fast it stopped her heart. She froze like a doe in the hunter's sights, but then instinct set in, her pulse exploded in a frantic race. She felt the overwhelming urge to run, but she had her dignity and her superiority, and she went with him. And they locked her in this thing, and they want to try and save her, and they tried to save her a couple of times, but it doesn't work. So, LACHLAN comes, LACHLAN or Bella, LACHLAN or Viper or McCreary, whatever you want to call him, comes to rescue her, and he can't rescue her and her daughter. They're going on a serious mission. They need to run, and they can't take the kid with them. She'll be in too much danger. It is safer for her to stay with her father. So she's got angst about them, and then they slowly fall in love. All right, yeah, it's a love story, but the angst is so. LACHLAN had a bad Viper, McCreary, whatever one you call him. He had a very bad previous experience. Bella also had a previous bad experience. So I don't want to admit to like you because I don't want to feel vulnerable, and I have all regrets because the first woman I desired did all this stuff and betrayed me, and I don't want to fall in love with you because you're going to betray me. And Bella's got, oh, he doesn't like me. Oh, he hurt my feelings. Oh, this, oh, that angst. There was just way too much angst in here. Way too much angst. Every other chapter. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I had a weak moment, I kissed you, but I really didn't mean it. Don't read anything into it. It didn't mean anything. Oh, woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. Oh, and I just, So, they spend some time traveling. They almost get caught. At one point, they do get caught. They do escape though. The story skips a little bit here and there. Then she believes that he betrayed them and sold them out for money. And later on, she's told, but look, he was in chains and shackles. He did not tell us out. But she had the, oh, woe is me. He betrayed us. Oh, I thought I liked him, but he betrayed us. And he revealed our position. And no, they were followed. He wasn't that careful. He was followed. He was picked up. He was in prison. So there's all that. And she goes to, oh, he betrayed. And then she has to be reunited months later and told, oh look, I was captured, this is what happened, this is the real truth of what happened. I know they told me later on, but during this time I had this angst that you really didn't like me and that you betrayed us all and blah 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 blah. And then he has the same angst to her, and then he finally comes to rescue her. This was their second attempt at rescue. She's finally being moved, and they're going to use this moving to rescue her. But my daughter, my daughter, my daughter, my daughter. I was told my daughter was a day from here. I really want to go see my daughter, my daughter, my daughter. And she's risking everybody's lives and risking her freedom and his life and all the guards for her daughter. And she goes to her daughter, and they're in this crowd, and she's dressed as a boy to make it easier to hide her, to blend in, and she drops a rose on the floor, which is what happened when she was led to the tower the first time, and her daughter recognizes it, but her daughter is like, I don't want to get I see that's my mother. I'm very happy she's still alive. I'm very happy she looks like she's in good health. But I don't want to betray anybody. I don't want to get my mother in trouble. I don't want, all these people to know that I know that that was my mother. She doesn't want anybody to know anything. She's trying to protect her mother. And she's like, oh, that was nothing. Doesn't mean anything. And so then Bella's like, oh, my daughter rejected me. Woe is me again. And I was so over it. So effing over it. Her angst over him, and his angst over her, and his angst over his previous wife, and Bella's angst over her daughter, and it's just, I was over it. I did not enjoy this book as much as I enjoyed the previous ones. Did not. It just, and I'm still confused, if you didn't know, about, because the guys are still alive in here. They were, again, it was mentioned that they were taken prisoner. The Templar guy and, the dragon guy. Those are the two guys. They're mentioned in here again. And they're alive in here again, but they never got a book. And I really wanted there's 2 more books. They're ebooks. Oh, I got another book the other day. I got the 12th book, The Rock. But, so these 2 guys never got a book. And, I've tried to reach out to the author. I haven't heard anything back yet. She hasn't been very social on Facebook or anything in over 2 years. But, I know her husband passed, and I don't think she's written anything. But, we'll see what happens there. But this was just, oh, good God. I was over the angst. I was over the woe is me. His angst, her angst, their joint angst, the lying, the betrayal. Oh, it didn't mean anything because I don't want you to know that I don't want you to fall in love with me because I was betrayed before and I had a bad experience. Blah, blah, blah. I was just, and then it jumps. The ending jumps. And, she wants to see her daughter, and she finally gets to see her daughter, and they finally get to have the convo that they wanted, and, her daughter's like, look, I've got this established life now. I've got this plan for me for the future. And her daughter's like, I'm going to England. I've got this stuff I want to take care of. I got this life I want to do. I've got this promise of a husband, blah, 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 blah. So after all of that, Bella lets her go. And then so many years later, there's a reunion at the end. But my favorite part of the book are the author's notes. The character of Lachlan is a compilation of the actual Lachlan, or Roland, as he's sometimes called. The what did I do with it? That guy. And his brother Rory, both bastard son of the Alan Gamorrean. Historian seems to argue that the McCrearies were the wildest and most lawless of the descendants of the Summerland, who inherited the piratical tendencies of the Vikings. Lachlan is referred to as a sinister figure and a buccaneer predator who solely for his own hand. As Burrow describes him, a shadowy figure, Lachlan flits in and out of the record of the Anglo-Saxon War, always in the background, always a troublemaker. He defied in turn the impunity with King John Edward I, the guardians of the Ross. In his own esteem, he may have well ranked as a king of the Isles. With references like that, it's hard not to be intrigued about the perfect markings of a bad boy. Lachlan has said to be married to John of Lorne's daughter, whose given name is not known. In keeping with my attempt to appropriate clan names, I borrowed the name Juliana from her aunt, who married Alexander MacDougall, Ox brothers. The Battle of Kensha in 1297 was reputably fought between Lachlan, MacRae, and the English. The setup by John of Lorne, however, it is my invention. Lachlan did spend time at MacDougall prison, and the MacDougalls gave him refuge after he escaped. But sometime shortly after, he switched allegiances from the Dougals to the MacDonalds, which got my imagination going. It sounded like the perfect makings of a betrayal. In contrast to the pirate MacRuirs, Isabel Macduff, Countess of Buchan, had gone down in history as one of the greatest Scottish heroines. Married to John Comyn, the Earl of Buchan, who decades later older than she. At an early age, she escaped from the husband, some say on stolen horses, and escaped to Scone to Bruce, arriving a day late. A second ceremony was indeed held, demonstrating how important tradition was. So yeah, she did the placing. She was the one that placed the crown on his head. But anyways, let's get to it. We've got the Saint to get to. Nika Gankov. And this one's I guess it's about the same time. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Have a good one.